'67 was a great year for a lot of things, especially Corvettes. '67 was a big year for the Chevrolet Corvette Stingray. It was the end of what we now refer to as the C2 generation car, as the new Mako Shark-style Corvette would debut in 1968. Typically, a car reaches its peak of refinement in its last years of a production style, and the 1967 Corvette was no exception. It's definitely one of the best-looking Corvettes, if not one of the best-looking American cars ever designed, and when car magazines would feature this Corvette on the cover, they noticed significant increases in newsstand magazine sales. Of course, the Corvette always backed up its high style with high performance, and our '67 Roadster is a perfect example. There are so many things to like about a mid-year Corvette design. Starting up in the front, I love the way the fenders come to the peak around the nose. You've got that great hood that actually takes cold air in from the base of the windshield. The front of the hood's not open. On the side of the fenders, you've got the gills that are functional to let some of the heat out of the engine compartment. The gentle curves of the fenders, the way that beltline crease goes all the way around the car. But I think one of the best parts about this one is the color. This marina blue, to me, always looks like water, especially when you have a swoopy Corvette like this. And when you couple it with the red line tires and the silver wheels, it almost has an American patriotic flavor. Although Corvettes are performance cars, there were various options and upgrades to make them as hot as you wanted. This particular car was ordered with a number of performance suspension upgrades, including the F41 Sport front and rear suspension, the G81 Positraction rear axle with a 411:1 rear gear ratio. The F41 suspension upgrade includes special rate springs with matched shock absorbers and upsized front and rear sway bars. Part of the fun of this Roadster is right here. This is RPO code L71, which is a 427 cubic inch V8. It's rated at 435 horsepower. It's 11:1 compression. It's got an aluminum intake manifold, and it's fed by 3 two-barrel carburetors, as you can see here under home plate. Normally when you drive around, you're using the center one, but when you put your foot to the floor, the front and rear open up, and that's when all the fun starts. And this car does have several other interesting options. Over there is a power brake booster, so it has power brakes. And on the front of the engine, below the alternator, is the power steering pump. So all this means that even though it is kind of a brutal big block, it's still a fairly easy car to drive. You can only get the L71 when you ordered the Positraction rear axle, transistorized ignition, and the close ratio 4-speed transmission. And although the 3-carb setup seems like a lot of carburation, even for a 427, the reality is that the driver was usually driving on the center single 2-barrel carb, which was only rated at about 355 CFM. This provided an element of economy in an otherwise completely impractical car. These cars ran on 15x7 wheels for 1967, and magazines reported a traction-limited 0 to 60 time in the high 4-second range, with the quarter mile zinging by in 13.6 at 105 miles per hour. The base convertible stickered at $4,200, which was actually about $140 less than a coupe, but the goodies added to this car boosted the bottom line by nearly another grand. However, spending an additional $437 does not seem like much to have the 427 installed when you look at it in today's terms. The '67 Corvette was wildly popular and was voted the best all-around car by readers of Car and Driver magazine that year. The styling was super clean and devoid of ornamentation, with a sharp character line and aggressive fender bulges. The side fender vents were functional, and the light split bumpers were just enough bright chrome to accent the lines without looking like an add-on. This Marina Blue car has a white convertible top and a black interior, although it could have been had with a white interior or matching blue seats. All told, there were 14,436 drop-top '67 Corvettes built, and 3,754 435 horse cars were built in total, both coupe and convertible. Our car was built on July 7th, 1967 in the St. Louis Corvette plant, just 3 days before the public opening of another St. Louis icon, the world-famous Gateway Arch. While not this exact car, Chevrolet acknowledged the arch in an ad for the '67 Corvette, calling the Corvette the other spirit of St. Louis. We call it an awesome Roadster and a car from the Brothers collection that we'd love to spend more time driving. We hope you enjoyed checking out this Marina Blue Roadster. I know that Corvettes aren't necessarily muscle cars, but there's a few Corvettes in the Brothers collection, so we don't mind sharing them with you. You can see more of this car on our website at musclecaroftheweek.com, or go to the Facebook page or YouTube channel where you can leave comments about this car. We'll read them, might even include them in an upcoming viewer mail episode of Muscle Corvette of the Week.